I didn't know that the divorce was the biggest blessing of my life. At that time, I thought that life was falling apart, but it, in a sense, fell apart so I can be put back together with a greater and a better foundation than it was before. I always say, "Oh, thank you for divorcing me because now I'm in the best version of myself than I would have been." And it's so crazy because also with the people that I ended up marrying, the first and second marriage, like, they cheated on me before I got married to them, yet I still married them. Wherever you're at right now, wherever you feel that you're stuck in life, things can get better.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Vibrant Soul Society, The Conversations. I'm your host, Baba Sam, the Miracle Man. Our mission for the show is to help you to see, to discover that you are greater than your thoughts. On the opposite side of our thoughts is our vibrant soul. Today, I'm very honored and privileged to have Laura Lynn with us on the conversations. So, Laura Lynn, welcome to the conversations.
No, thank you so much, Baba. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, so people that are unfamiliar with you, who is Laura Lynn?
Like how you started off about talking about thoughts, that's in a sense where I was stuck at in my life. And what kind of brought me into who I am today is through a divorce. I used to have a lot of negative thoughts, especially around jealousy, because I've had experiences with people cheating on me a lot, my first and second husband. And it was after I was pregnant and had my second child, 6 weeks after I gave birth, my husband at the time asked for a divorce, and I'm just like, "We just had a baby." And so I was just struck, shocked, and then all these negative thoughts started coming in of, "What am I gonna do? What's gonna happen to the kids? I'm the mother. Don't you try to take my children away from me," kinda thing. And so just bombarded with all of the things that could go wrong in a divorce. But it was at that moment that was my catalyst and awakening to who I am and what I do now, which I'm a hypnotherapist and energy healer. But that kind of led me into really discovering who am I? Because before this event, I never really had those thoughts of diving deep, self-reflection, self-awareness. I was just living life and all these thoughts have always been going around, not knowing that you can actually start to control your thoughts in the sense of choosing them. Oh, do I choose to listen to the positive thoughts or the negative thoughts? And can I switch them? And yes, you can. And so after years of just learning, what I do and just honing into my craft, now I always have supportive thoughts. And a lot of people might not think that's possible, but it is because when you do the inner work and you start to learn about who you are at a deeper level and heal yourself, then you remove all the, like you said, the trash, the rubbish, and you get to have all these supportive parts of yourself come forward even more.
So, what was that discovery for you? And how did you find that deeper essence within yourself? Because this gets very noisy. So, what was your practice to settle into who you were?
I remember the first time, like, when I started being on this, spiritual journey, and they're like, "Yeah, you need to meditate." And I tried to meditate, and so I'm like sitting in the park, and I'm like, "I'm just gonna close my eyes," and then I just have all these random thoughts coming in. I'm like, "I don't think I'm meditating." Slowly but surely, you start to just be more the observer to the thoughts. And and that's how I slowly started just learning more about myself and just paying attention to my thoughts, choosing what I wanted to believe or not, healing the negative thoughts that were coming up. And what really helped me was hypnotherapy, right? Learning about the subconscious mind and diving into there of, okay, what are the beliefs that I'm holding within myself of the experiences that I have? And when I heal those experiences, then I can shift my beliefs, and the negative thoughts that come from that perceived and negative experience goes away too because I healed it. And then I can replace it with loving and supporting thoughts.
I definitely can relate to that too, because when I first began meditating, I was always under the impression that meditating means you stop thinking. So I was
Mhm.
sitting there and be like all these crazy random thoughts, but then it would say, stop thinking. And there goes the crazy random thoughts again. And then I would say, stop thinking. But I realized within 4 or 5 days, I'm like, wait a second. If I'm aware of my thoughts, I'm not my thoughts.
Mhm.
And if I'm not my thoughts, then who am I?
And that's the exciting journey, is to continuously discover who you are by doing the inner work and just sitting with yourself and just discovering who you are. So that has been such an amazing journey. I always say, "Oh, thank you for divorcing me," because now I'm in the best version of myself than I would have been. I felt like I was asleep before, and now I'm just awakened and I'm so aware. And all I just want to keep doing is learning about myself, learning about spirituality, the universe, and just loving myself on a deeper level.
So how did you step out of was it hypnotherapy that really stepped you out of the craziness of the thought to give you space, or was it just your own practice of just sitting there?
I feel like it was a culmination of a lot of different things, because once I started learning about hypnotherapy and all these different energy healing modalities, they all came together and helped me to form who I am today. So it was more of taking pieces from here, from there, allowing that to heal me in different ways, and then just help me to become a better person and the person I am today.
And you mentioned an important word a few minutes ago that a lot of people aren't even aware of being aware that you get lost in these thoughts and you really aren't aware what's going on. It's like you really are sleeping through life. You're just caught up in whatever the story is.
Yes, and when I think back about the person who I used to be before I knew all these things, it's, man, I was really just trying to survive. When people start to learn this about themselves and start to pay attention to themselves, they get to discover who they are. They get to start to build a relationship with themselves. And in that relationship, loving yourself more. And loving yourself more, everything that you do from that point onward, it's just making you better.
And that's such an important key that we really don't have a good relationship with ourselves if we're lost in thoughts.
Yeah.
Did you find yourself was filled with like a lot of self-judgment, a lot of self-criticism that you're not deserving, you're not good enough? I can imagine the stories that came up during the divorce. What's wrong with me?
Yes, exactly. Especially like, why am I not good enough for you? And it's so crazy because also with the people that I ended up marrying, the first and second marriage, like they cheated on me before I got married to them, yet I still married them. And so it's, I didn't honor myself enough to like be like, no, Laura, that's a red flag. Do not continue this relationship with that person. But it's that part within myself that I wasn't good enough for myself either. So I just allowed this person to treat me that way. And then I just got caught up in this circle of them cheating on me and me worrying about that. And so my life was just filled with worry and anxiety when I could have stopped it myself by stopping the relationship.
But that's the natural path we get into. It's human to worry, to be anxious if we only know ourselves as the thoughts, this identity. So when you're working with individuals and they're dealing with this craziness, maybe they're going through divorce, they're going through some kind of chaos in their life, what's the first thing you do to help them?
First, I listened to them, right? And I really help them to understand where they are and why they feel that way. I help them to become self-aware of what they're going through, because for me, I'm just a guide. And from that point forward, it's letting them give themselves permission that they can let these things go. They can let these thoughts go. They can let these experiences go. And then when they do that, they don't have to carry that burden anymore, because you give yourself that permission to let it go. And I feel like that's the first step of deciding, do you feel that you deserve to be better from this experience, whatever experience that is. And when you help people know that, oh, I can make a decision to let this go, people hold on to things thinking that, oh, this is me and I have to hold on to it forever. No, you can choose to forgive, you can choose to release, and you can choose to heal.
Why do we need to give ourselves permission to be ourselves?
Exactly. A lot of the times we feel like we need permission from other people,
It,
but you give yourself the permission.
I think part of the permission is that we don't trust ourselves, that
That's
we're always expecting people to give us validation, that we need
yes.
this, because we're always taught that the external world knows what's best for us. So we're really
Yes.
afraid to take our own steps.
Yes. And sometimes people need that hand to hold or they need to really baby step it because, like you said, they're unsure of themselves. They're unsure of the decision that they're making because they think they might make a wrong decision. But the point is to make a decision and to make a decision from your heart and say, you know what's good for you. But sometimes we don't feel like we deserve good. So we don't choose that. We choose to stay in that bad relationship, stay in that job we don't like, stay around toxic people.
Because we don't know any better because we're caught up in the drama. But I think that's the first key is to make a decision, take a step in a direction of your preferred life.
Yes. And that's all you got to do. I feel like it's really simple. Like how you just said, like it's make a decision and take that next step. That's all you got to do.
But the mind likes to overcomplicate it. It wants to
Mhm.
know the whole plan. Like we're going to work this whole thing out before we take any action.
Yes, exactly. And when you trust that, the universe is going to take you where you need to be. And when you have that intentionality behind that decision that you're making, then you can be like, okay, let me release the control that I think I need to have and just take that next step.
He made a really good point there. The word intention, that we're intending this real step, making a purposeful step. That's the word we have to intent.
Hmm.
We can't, usually when we're lost in the mind, we're making random steps and we're wondering why life is randomly chaotic.
Yes.
That's what's coming through. We get into this random chaos because we're so lost in here, but it's
Mm,
making that choice, then send the intent and just taking that small step, whatever feels right to you.
yeah. And trust that it's going to be okay because a lot of the times you go, oh, what if something goes wrong? But what if it goes right? What if it goes better than you think it's going to go?
So now when you look back, if we go back now to where you're going through all the hardships and your divorces and things, what was like your big learning from all of that when you can look back now and say, okay, what did I learn from all of this?
What I learned from my divorce is that I didn't love myself throughout all the years of all the relationships. I kept on staying with people I should not have been with. And when you love yourself, then you're not scared to be alone. I was scared to be alone, and especially having 2 kids and one was a newborn. It's no, you're gonna be okay. Whatever you're going through, trust yourself. Trust that you needed this to happen so that you can better yourself and make that better decision and choose to be better.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Scared to be alone. That's really an important point that people, it's hard for people to sit with themselves and just deal with themselves. For
Mhm.
you to do that meditation was very good. So it's interesting, like they're scared to be alone, so they settle.
Mhm. Yes, exactly.
This is the best I can do.
Yep, exactly. Oh, it's not that bad. At least he didn't do something worse. But no, you deserve the best. You deserve the way you wanna be treated. If you wanna be treated where somebody treats you good and that you know that they love you, they would never cheat on you, then yes, you can have that, but you need to give that to yourself.
It all begins with you.
Yes.
Make that decision, set those intentions, and forget about the outcome. Just take the next step.
Mhm. Let the universe surprise you.
It will surprise you if you keep taking the steps that feel right to you and you're
Mm.
not overthinking the steps.
Yes, and that's why I said to go back to just follow your heart. Heart is a guiding light. Tune into it and be like, "Okay, you know what to do." And then just like we said earlier, just take that next step.
Mind loves complexity. The heart,
Yes.
how do you find the heart? I find the heart is very simple. Just do
Yes.
this, just do this.
Yep. And their mind goes, "But what if?"
Of course, that's what the mind does. That's the, I always like to say the what if game is the mind's favorite game. because it prevents you from taking action. Then you get into this fear state. What if this happens?
Yeah, and the best thing that anyone can do is take action because when they take action, they get the clarity that they needed from that action.
That's a really important point. Getting clarity when you take that action. Otherwise, you're just guessing. How's this action going to work out?
And then you don't take action because you're stuck in the, what if I do it this way? What if I do it that way? But no, just take the action, see what happens, and then adjust, adapt, pivot.
But pivot is so hard for some people because they're really stuck in their
Mhm.
ways.
Yes, that is very true. And that's why when you begin this journey, self-awareness is so important because it's just continuously you going deeper into yourself and learning more about yourself, and it helps you to be more open-minded to everything around you.
Yeah, you have to really open to everything around you because to realize how the mind works. The mind is usually focused on those things that it's attuned into, and there may be some other opportunities around you that the mind can't see.
Yeah.
So it's all about slowing down, taking a breath, being here, and to see how you want your life to be. So you're also doing some energy healing. So everything is just unfolding at it for you. You're like, this is my one thing, then I'm getting to the next thing. And how is that evolving for you, your journey?
Yeah, when I was in my learning phase, it was really amazing because before I didn't really believe in any of this stuff. And then I started opening up my mind a little bit more. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And that's when I started just exploring, right? Having the fun of exploration in whatever you're passionate about. For me, I didn't know what I was passionate about until I became on this journey. Some people know exactly what they love, and I was going through life of, "Oh, I'm just going through life. I don't know what I wanna do yet." And when I found it, I was like, "This is it." And it was hypnotherapy and energy healing. So I dove into different modalities, and at one point, it's okay, now it's time to take everything that you've learned and just put yourself out there. And so it's been an amazing journey because I would never have thought before any of this that I'd have a podcast, I'd have a radio show, I'd be a guest on someone's podcast, like, beforehand, I did not like speaking in public, and now it's, "Oh, I enjoy these things." So you grow and evolve the more that you discover who you are on a deeper level, and you just have fun exploring you and just creating your life in an exciting way.
Right. And I think you said something very profound there that is where I was as well. I didn't believe any of this stuff. All this stuff is like, whoa, it's out there. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that curiosity, like I'm sitting in meditation. What's going on here? So how did you discover like meditation was one of your ways to get out of the mind? Because you're sitting there and all these crazy thoughts were coming. So what'd you think of meditation at that point?
Oh gosh, when I think about meditation then and meditation now, it's meditation then was, "Am I doing it right? Don't know what I'm doing." And then it's evolved into its own thing of, "Now I know what I'm doing, and now I get to go and explore these different places and meet these spiritual beings." And I'm like, "Oh, so now it's just, like, fun. Now it's just an exploration." And I feel like everybody does things differently. Everybody will get to where they're meant to be in the time that they're meant to. I would just say, keep on exploring meditation, keep on exploring yourself and see where the universe takes you because it will surprise you. Like it always surprises me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the best experience I've ever had. And I still keep having those experiences of, oh my God, no, this is the best experience I've ever had.
What is the
Yes.
next step?
Yes.
We think it's so complicated, but it really isn't. What does your heart feel? What feels right to you? Then do
Mhm.
that. Don't overthink it. Just do it.
Yep, and have fun. Like, have some friends that they get into it so much. I'm like, just have fun. Just have fun doing it. That's when you really get into it. It's, "Oh, look at all these things I can do now."
Yeah, it's always about having fun, enjoying this experience. Turn down the seriousness. increase
Mhm.
the fun, and watch what happens in life.
Yes. Like, then you just attract more things to have fun about.
Because if you're feeling yourself too serious, then you're really cutting off that flow of the universe. So, what's your happy, joyful place? Where do you really have the most fun?
I was actually thinking about this recently. I'm like, what is my thing? And then my thing is when I'm in a session like with people, and it doesn't have to be one on one because recently I created this mini course and it was like a 12 days of activation. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is it. Like I just love being in the magic and that's it. Like that's my happy place. And because when I'm there, the universe tells me what we're helping people with, and I just go with the flow, and then I get to experience these things, which I would not have been able to experience if I didn't help other people on the other side of it. So it's like me just being observer to how I help people.
So, yeah, yeah, it's this magic that you're talking about, being in magic. I find that it's when we're in our creative space, we're
Mhm.
expressing a creative part of ourselves. And it's like
Yes.
an expansion,
Yes, it is.
just to expand, to enjoy life, to laugh at the seriousness of life. That's when
Yes.
I had to leave the corporate space. They were just arguing over something trivial, and I was just sitting there laughing at them.
Yeah, I left the military for this, and they're like, "You're gonna be a what?" I was like, "I'm gonna be a hypnotherapist and help people." And they all thought I was crazy. What is a hypnotherapist? And then even years down the road, they'd be like, "Are you still doing what you do?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this for the rest of my life. I love it."
Because it's your passion, it lights you up because you're helping people expand in their own new reality. Isn't it
Yes,
amazing when you look back and you're like, I'm all caught up in these thoughts, life isn't going right. So wait, I got rid of the mind and look at my life now.
exactly. And the more that you do this and you're in tune to all of this, whatever ups and downs come your way, right? Everything is a perception that you can now look at experiences and be like, "Oh, okay, that's why this is happening." When you have that mentality that everything's working for you, not to you, then you can take it with a grain of salt and just be like, "Okay, this is just something for me to learn or to grow from or to help someone through."
Yeah, you said something really important that just might have slipped by some listeners. I really want you to dive into this some more. For some people, that's not true. So expand on that if you could.
Yeah, it's because the way you look so, like, you and me can look at something, and we can have totally different thoughts about it, and you could look at it in a positive way, and then I could look at it in a negative way. But whatever way that you look at it is true for you, so it's what you believe it to be. What's so important about that is you have the ability to shift your perception on the situation. So if you initially perceive it to be something negative, you can stop yourself and be like, "Okay, how is this working out for me? How is this situation going to help me to learn and grow and evolve?" And when you look at it from that standpoint of kind of being the observer instead of being like the victim of it, then you take your power back by shifting your perception and changing it. And the more that you do that, the more that you, when things come your way, you already know, oh, okay, yeah, that's happening because of this, and so on and so forth. For example, when I was living in my old house, my landlord was like, "We're gonna sell it." And this was when I quit my military job, so I didn't have that much money. And I could have gone into a panic mode and be like, "Oh my god, I don't have enough money to get out of this place because it was really cheap." And instead, I was like, "You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. The universe is gonna take care of me." And then it ended up not being sold. Like 3 times they tried that, and my family would be like, "Oh, aren't you looking for a place?" I'm like, "Nope, because they ain't tell me to leave yet." Little did I know that I was meant to be the owner of that place. So it's like the universe was like, "Nope, this is for Laura." And so now I'm the owner of the place. But if I was worried all the time, each time they said they're gonna sell it, then what does that do to my energy levels? Like, why am I gonna be in stress when I don't have to be?
I find that worry is a blocking energy.
Yes.
It stops the flow of the universe. Am I seeing this as an observer or am I seeing it as the victim? And unfortunately, I think a lot of people see as the victim that all this bad stuff is happening to me.
Yes, but know that you can start to shift your mentality around that. And of course, it may not happen overnight, but the more that you practice it, the more that you get stronger in that. And like I said before, you take your power back instead of being a victim to your situation.
Because the situation is probably there for your benefit, some reason that your mind can't understand.
Exactly. I didn't know that the divorce was the biggest blessing of my life. At that time, I thought that life was falling apart, but it, in a sense, fell apart so I can be put back together with a greater and a better foundation than it was before.
It was your catalyst to discover who you were and what you were meant to do in the world.
Exactly.
If you didn't have that experience, who knows where you would be today?
Exactly.
Yeah, we have to see that even the worst things in life can be our greatest blessing. For you, it was divorce. For me, it was losing the ability to walk. There are those catalysts
Yeah.
that can really propel us forward if we can shift out of the victim mindset
Yes, that is important.
to make that decision. We
Mhm.
are the universe. The power of the universe is within us.
Exactly, you just need to see it within yourself and know it to be true.
So if you're really feeling stuck that I just can't do this, I'm going through divorce, chaos, Laura Lynn's got your back.
Yes, even if because I also come also what that situation did for me, it helped me to face my childhood trauma as well. So, because I was just suppressing it, "Oh, no, that didn't happen to me." But when I started going on this healing journey, all of that came up. And so it allowed me to heal on that deeper level and heal my inner child and heal my childhood trauma to move forward so I could do what I do today.
Yeah, it's another interesting point that we think when we start meditating, we start getting control over our thoughts. What I find when the more you're sitting dealing with your thoughts, the more stuff comes up from your memories and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. And just know that if they do come up and they came up at that particular time, you are strong enough to face it. Sometimes we feel like we're not strong enough. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there again. All these fears are coming up, but you are strong enough to face it. You are strong enough to acknowledge that and let it go and forgive.
Yeah, let it go and forgive.
Yes, for some people, it's hard because they get stuck in it. They get stuck in the emotion and the experiences and why did this happen to me? And how could they do that to me? But only you can take yourself out of that. And so you need to be your own hero and give yourself permission to let it go, to know that doesn't define you. And that every moment from this moment forward, you define yourself and how you want your future to look like.
One of the tools for letting go is meditation. What other tools do you have to help people let go?
For me, I love being in my healing sessions. So that's what it would be. Hypnotherapy, energy healing, just going into the subconscious and just releasing and healing, bringing in that high vibrational energy. And yeah, that's my secret sauce of how I help people to heal is through my sessions.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you find this as well, when you're in this healing space, if you're going through something yourself, like a cold, an injury, do you find yourself that healing energy also is having an impact on your own being as well?
That's what I love about this because as you're doing it for others, you also receive. It's also great when you have a group because everybody gets to bring in that person's going through this, that person's going through that. And at some point, if you want to get into past lives, we've experienced that too. So it's like whatever's coming up for each person, we get to heal it collectively. And that's what I love about doing group sessions.
Right. That's another rabbit hole, past lives, but that life is still
Yeah.
here in this moment.
Yep, exactly.
And it's bleeding into this moment.
Yes, it's like how it goes back to complexity, but simplicity at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard for the mind to wrap around in the quantum space. All there is right now.
Yeah, but it's fun.
It's all about having fun, laughing, enjoying life.
Mhm.
That's all we're doing is sitting here laughing, enjoying life. And it's really that simple. Where can you find the joy in this moment?
Yes, exactly.
Where can you play more? I see we're here to play, have fun, and explore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of it too, is help each other out because we're all interconnected.
Yes.
So by helping another, you're helping yourself.
Yep. And helping yourself, you help others too. So, like when I do healings for me, I know that I'm helping others to heal too. The collective benefits.
Right. Another rabbit hole that it's all one.
Yep. So many rabbit holes.
Yeah. Yeah. Laura Lynn, if people had questions, how would they reach out to you?
You can reach me on my Instagram. My handle is underscore Laura, Laura.Lynn, and then two underscores. For my podcast, the Empowered Soul podcast, I put that on YouTube. So yeah, those are some of the places to reach out to me.
Okay, great. So we can check out the Empowered Soul podcast, reach out to you there. Is that your business page too, is on Facebook, or is it just you on Facebook?
It's just me on Facebook.
Okay. So is there any last words of advice that you would give to anyone listening here today, or anything that we didn't address that's important to know?
I would like to say that wherever you're at right now, wherever you feel that you're stuck in life, things can get better. You just have to believe it to be and to decide that for yourself. Because a lot of the times it's you making a decision like, how do you want your life to be? And so just make the decision and just take the next step. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about how do I do this in the grand scheme of life. Just let the universe guide you and take the next step. Have fun in the process of you learning about you and just learn to love yourself as deep as you can.
Yeah, that's such great advice, just to embrace love and let
Mhm.
love be your guide, and that will
Yes.
work out perfectly. Well, I really enjoyed having you on the conversations, Laura Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here.